to really connect and influence and persuade somebody and make them feel that trust. Oftentimes, we do things that might feel unnatural. One of the great techniques is to paraphrase their response. So really have them understand that you're listening to them and repeat it back to them using your own voice, your own language. This creates incredible rapport with people. I do this with my wife all the time. And I'll give you an example right now. Unfortunately, my wife, we just found out, has to have surgery, which really sucks. And we're going through a lot of things around that, like we all would be. And so she has some fear and worries coming up. And my role is to really try to understand her as much as I can and build rapport so I can help her make good decisions about this. Because when we're in fear or fight or flight, we don't make good decisions. So I really want to be able to ground her. And often what I'm doing is when she's speaking and sharing what's coming up and what the fear is, I'm repeating it back and I'm saying, so what I'm hearing you say is, and then I will repeat it back to her. And oftentimes it's a toggle to get to the real understanding of really where the other person's fear or concern is lying. But when you're paraphrasing what they're saying and repeating it back and you're doing it consistently, what you're going to find is you actually get to a place where they look at you and they really feel heard. They really feel connected with the fact that you really took the time to understand them. And from there, there's this opening of trust and connection. This is very, very powerful. And the way that all the most charismatic people are naturally doing this, or they were taught how to do this. But using the phrase, what I'm hearing is, and doing it in a way that isn't condescending, but is really connected to their tone. Okay, connected to their tone, which is really the second technique that I want to talk about, which is the matching and mirroring. And what matching and mirroring means, and if you haven't heard this before, you're gonna be like, wow, really? That's really something? And it is, which is synchronizing your behavior to match that of another. Okay, and that could be physically mirroring their behavior, matching it. It could be vocal matching, like with the tone and the way that things are being said. And it could even be breathing synchronization where you're breathing. So people that practice and are adept at influencing and persuading others do these things consciously, or maybe they just have it habituated, where they're naturally mirroring people. And again, why does that work? It works because when we do this, the other person feels safe. The other person feels secure, and it's subconscious. And in that place, they trust you. Okay. So there's really a physical component to rapport building that is absolutely powerful. And I'm going to share a story because I want to make this really practical. I started my career in sales. I really wanted to learn how to influence people and persuade people. And I got a job as a salesperson, maybe my second sales job, but still low man on the totem pole. And this company was up and coming, and they had 600 employees all over the country, all over the world. And we were selling local internet advertising. And I wanted to be the best. We got the job, went down to a training in Austin, Texas, came back, started the job. And what we had to do was get on the phone with people and try to set appointments, right? Sales. And so my goal with getting on the phone with somebody was to make an appointment and go down to their office and pitch them our thing and make a sale. And so I'm scrolling through Salesforce on my first day, and I see this one entry, and it's this company that had been reached out to a lot. They spent a lot of money on advertising, and no one had been able to go in there to claim the account. So I call it up, and this guy gets on the phone, and he's like, who's this? And I'm like, my name is Todd. I'm calling from this company. And oh, yeah, you guys. Yeah, you guys. Every week, somebody from your company calls. I was thinking about mirroring him. I was like, so has anyone ever come down there? Like right away, I was matching him. No one's ever come down here. Like, I don't know if you know much about me. I'm like, actually, I do. I know a little bit about you, but I'd like to know more. Well, we're one of the biggest advertisers in local internet marketing. We spend $500,000 a month, and I have my own system, and you guys could never do what we do. I'm like, look, I totally hear that. So I start this conversation mirroring this guy. And sometimes it feels counterintuitive because that tone of language and way of being didn't feel warm and connected to me. And this is one of the things that's so key to understand in all of this, to really connect and influence and persuade somebody, is that to really connect with somebody and make them feel that trust, oftentimes we do things that might feel unnatural. didn't feel natural for me to talk that way. I was using a technique to see if it could create connection and rapport with this guy, and it did. So we started having this conversation, and he was like, so you see, you guys call me every week, but I really have no need for you. I go, then why do you pick up the phone? He's like, what do you mean? I go, well, you just took my call. The receptionist told you it was me from this company, and you picked up the call. And why? Why do you want to talk to us every week if you're not going to work with us? Well, I just think it's nice to get on the phone. And I go, yeah, actually, I don't think that's what it was. He's like, what do you mean? I think that you would be interested in hearing more about what we do. And then I went into a little bit of a pitch, but I used that anchor of creating that rapport. And rapport for him was this fast talking, almost confrontational way. That was comforting to him. That's what had him trust me. It wasn't what my idea of it was. It was, I was matching and mirroring him so that way he could feel comfortable. Going back to my Alex example of working through her fears around her surgery, I also used mirroring, meaning that when I'm asking her, so what I'm hearing is, and then I paraphrase, I'm doing it in a tone that she can hear it, in a tone that mirrors the way that she speaks, which is very different than the way I speak. So I'm doing it in a way that I know will connect with her. And that's how you move the needle. That's how you get someone to trust you. You're really doing this work. It feels like a lot of effort. It becomes more natural when you practice. And this is one of the things that's so key to understand in all of this, to really connect and influence and persuade somebody, is that to really connect with somebody and make them feel that trust. Oftentimes we do things that might feel unnatural.